Hi all, this is Dynamic Productions. I'm Aaron Wallace and we're going to be doing evaluation question 7. Looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you have learned into progression from it to the full product? So straight away, we're just going to skip to the first scene and to the first big shot of the film, which was the cut of the goat. Now, originally in the filmmaking process, we didn't have the cut of the goat. We just had it straight to Monday's eyes. That's our leading actor, and then to him walking. But when we went back on our second day to film, we figured we wanted to drop subtle hints of the type of character we wanted Carl Machiavelli to be. So we put the goat there to sort almost symbolize hard work, trials and tribulations he might have to go through, lifting other people's weight, carrying their workload, and it's sort of symbolic of, in a way, young black men in today's society. So after that, we get the shot to Monday's eyes. Now, the reason why we had it so zoomed up into his face is because we wanted to know you are seeing this whole thing from his perspective and only his perspective. We wanted, to show the world from the perspective of someone who is perhaps underprivileged, of a lower class, doesn't have as much money. But we also wanted to show that he's not completely stereotypical as well, as you'll see later on in Xanthidae. Now, if we go back to our prelim, there's a lot of changes because in our prelim originally, we didn't actually explore the emotional depth of the characters we used. Instead, it was more of just, here's a horror movie, the character's scared, dies at the end. But in this, we wanted to draw it out and make it so much more complex. That's why you have scenes like the red room, the blue room, and the white room, where we can see different emotions. We can see him struggling with his inner self, not sure what is right and what is wrong, whether he loves or hates his parents. We added all that because we wanted the emotional depth. We wanted people to know not all young black men are just angry and violent. We just want to explore all different kind of ideas. So that's why when we discussed this, we all joined together and came up with the ideas of the red room, blue room, and the white one. Then another important scene in our production, Xanthidae, you have the "I did not do it." Now, straight away with that scene, we can already see the mental, fragileness of our main character, Carl Machiavelli. He's going around with chalk, writing on walls. This isn't something a sane person would do. Because he's so weak emotionally, he feels like he has to show someone, even if it's just himself, or just to appease his mind, that he didn't do it, that he is innocent. There's a long backstory to this production, but just in case you don't know, basically, he killed his parents when he was younger because they were abusive, and now, however many years later, he's living his life, but he still hasn't gotten over it. And so, we can really see that in this opening 2 minutes with that first shot, and that's why we did that, because we wanted people to know, okay, he's done this evil thing, this horrible thing, but doesn't mean he wanted to, It's almost in a moral gray zone because he was getting abused. He was being, harassed by his parents, like badly, physically, emotionally, mentally. And he did what he thought he needed to do. Now, to many people, that's wrong. Murder can't really be justified. But in this 2 minutes, we sort of wanted to show a different perspective. And if we were to go on and record more, we dive into this, even more. And that in itself is a big improvement from our prelim, because the prelim was very one-dimensional. We never really explored those kind of ideas and dug deeper in. Another thing we've learned from our prelim is being able to use a variety of different camera angles, because for our prelim, we kept it, fairly simple. Nothing really too crazy. The techniques we used, like match on action, and the shots were, they were simple, but this, we wanted to go, as far out as possible. We wanted to really use the camera in the best way possible to reflect the world in his eyes. That's why you've got the very last shot at the disgruntled angle, and that's sort of to show You know, is he insane? Is he crazy? We don't know. Possibly, probably. You know, that's why we've done all that. Because we really want to hammer home this idea of being fragile and weak and emotional. Okay. Then we have the Red Room scene. Now, it's, it is up for interpretation, but you know, the original idea of it almost was isolation, being alone. You have no one else. In that scene, Carl Machiavelli is alone. All he can do is talk to himself, try to convince himself, you know, he's not done anything wrong. He might not say anything in the Red Room scenes in particular, but the panting, you know, the sweat, we can see he's visibly distressed. And we really wanted to illustrate that to the audience, but with very few words, which is why we didn't have him speak in this particular scene. Then you have the Blue Room scene, where he's a bit more, he's showing a bit more emotion, you know. He's saying, Mom, Dad, you know, we see, you know, the more remorseful side of Carl Machiavelli. Because, you know, we really want to show multiple angles of this person. And then you have the White Room scene, where we sort of see a bit of everything, because he calls out for his parents, saying he loves them, then immediately after says he wants to kill them. You know, we did this to show the parallels in his mind. And that's those three scenes summarized pretty much. And those three scenes, in a way, were indirectly inspired by our prelim. Because our prelim, the way it ended, we were going to have it cut to, you know, a scene like that and show the guy who died at the end of our prelim in one of those rooms as a sort of afterlife kind of scene. But we opted not to in the end because we didn't have enough time and we had to make cuts. But we took those ideas and incorporated them into our new film, Xanthidae, the story of Carl, and we just made it a lot better. So yeah, that's evaluation question 7. This has been Dynamic Productions. I'm Aaron Wallace. Yeah.